Good morning, everyone. So, welcome to TIMO Mac Review for Primary 4. So, I'm Coach Donna, and we'll be starting now. Again, I would like to encourage everyone to please mute your microphone and do open your camera if you have the accessories to do so. All right? So, let's start. We have here problem 1. If All right. If today is Wednesday, which day of the week will it be 153 days later? So for questions like this, days of the week problem, remember that in a week we have 7 days, and for every 7 days that passes, we will always go back to the same day. So if today is Wednesday, 7 days after, it's still Wednesday. All right. So we just need to find out how many Wednesdays will happen. Okay. Or we're going to um we're going to go by. All right. So yeah, let's divide 153 divided by 7. Okay, because there's 7 days in a week. So 153 divided by 7, you'll find that there's 21, okay, but a remainder of 6. 21 times 7 is 147. That means to say we still have 6 days remaining. All right? So that means to say we can actually, okay, let's write down Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So we started at Wednesday. Um, so we just have a remaining of 6 days to go through. Okay, we already gone through 21 Wednesdays. So next to Wednesday is Thursday, that's one, and then two, and then three, and then we go back to Sunday, 4, and that's 5, and that's 6. Notice you'll have a Tuesday. Okay, so the answer is a Tuesday. Another shortcut for this is that um remainder 6 basically means move, it just lacks 1, right, to be a 7. So you can actually move backwards once, and you'll get a Tuesday still. So the answer is a Tuesday. Okay, great. Then let's have number 2. For number 2, if we add 6 to Gabriel's age this year, the sum is then divided by 4. 5 is then subtracted from the quotient, and finally the difference is multiplied by 3. The result will be 18. How old is Gabriel this year? Okay. What we're going to do here, if you have problems like this, when you have a sequence of operations, you will just have to do the reverse operation, starting from the result or the final outcome. Okay, so the result will be 18. 18. So we start at that. So that is the result when you multiply it by 3. Okay, multiply it by 3. But remember, we do the reverse operation. So the reverse of multiplication is division. So 18 divided by the 3 right here. Okay, so 18 divided by 3, that's 6. So the difference, okay, so the difference when we subtract it from 5. So do the opposite, that's 6 plus 5. All right, 6 plus 5 is 11. And, okay, 6 plus 5 is 11. And remember, the next step is that it is divided by 4, but we need to do the opposite of what's stated here. So it should be 11 multiplied by 4. So that's 44. The next is we added 6. So opposite of addition is subtraction. So 44 minus 6. And you'll get an answer of 38. Okay? So that is our answer. you have questions so far? If you do, you can message in the chat box, and also you can raise your hand. Okay, number three, it requires 9 minutes to produce three nails. All right. So, if the time required to produce each nail is the same, how many minutes are required to produce 52 nails? You cannot produce more than one nail at the same time. So that means to say, this is proportional. We can produce three nails in 9 minutes. So that means to say, how many nails can we produce in a minute? So 3 divided by 9, that's one nail per 3 minutes. Okay? Because we know 9 is just 3 times 3. Okay, we can actually write it like this. 3 times 3. We can cancel 1 3. So what's left? 3 divided by 3 is 1. That's why we have 1 in the numerator. And then in the denominator, that's a 3. So that's one nail per 3 minutes. So if you have 52 nails now, and you know that in one nail takes 3 minutes, we just need to multiply 52 nails. Okay? 52 nails in 3 minutes. Because you know, one nail for every 3 minutes. But now you have 52 nails. So that means to say 52 times 3 is equal to 156. So we have 100, it takes 156 minutes to produce 52 nails. All right, this is our answer, or 156. Okay, I do encourage everyone to please minimize the use of the chat box if it's not related um to our question or problem right here. Yes, I see people raising their hands. Question?
Like, do we have to add like minutes, like 156 minutes, or can we just say like 156?
All right. So you can just say 156 directly because it's already stated in the problem that you're being asked for the number of minutes. So it's already understandable that our answer should be in minutes. Most of the time in the exam, in the upcoming competition, um, units are not needed unless you are instructed to do so in the problem. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Any other question for those who are raising their hand? No one else? All right, then. Question? No question. All right. So then let's proceed to number 4. For number 4, Mary has 70 marks and Peter has 53 marks in mathematics exam. If the average mark of Mary, Peter, and Alice in the mathematics exam is 65, what is Alice's exam mark? So what we're going to do here is you can actually write it like this, or we could have the shortcut formula. The shortcut formula is um sum of the scores you have, or sum of the whatever is given. Sum of the scores is equal to number of people. NO that means number. Okay. Number of people multiplied by the average mark. We can have this general formula. So sum of the scores, when you say sum, we're going to add. So you have 70 marks for Peter, I know, for Mary, and then Peter has 53. And then Alice's exam mark is, I know, So number of people is 3 because we have Mary, Peter, and Alice. And then the average is 65. Okay. And then you'd end up with 70 plus 53. We can actually add those two, and you'll get 123 plus 8 is equal to 3 times 65. And that's 195. The next step here is we can actually move 123 to the other side of the equal sign. So if we're going to move something from the other side to the other, it needs to change. We need to change the sign of that number. Okay, so as you can see, there's no sign here. It's understandable. It's positive. Do we need to change that to negative when we transfer it to the other side. 195 minus 123. 195. All right. Let me just. Okay. 195 minus 123, you'd get an answer of 72. Alice will have a score, should have a score of 72 for them to have an average of 65. No questions for this one. Yes, I see correct answers in the chat box. That's good. All right. Yeah, I do encourage everyone to please speak in English so we can understand each other. All right. So if you have no questions about the problem, let's proceed to number 5. According to the pattern shown below, what is the number in the blank? So here, if you have questions like this, identify the pattern first. So how the question would be, how can I get from the first number to the next? All right. So from 2 going to 5 and from 5 going to 12. How are we going to do that? So you can actually see, to get to 5, you'll have to add 3. To get to 12, you'll have to add 7, right? Or I just did that by 12 minus 5, by subtracting 12 and 5. That's 7. Even between 2 and 5, I got 3 by subtracting 5 and 2. And even here, 23 minus 12, you'll get 11. And then here, you'll get 15 as their difference. As you can see, there is no constant number being added.
A platform. Platform.
What was that? Okay, let's go back.
The difference is added by 4.
Can you please say that again?
The difference is added by 4.
Yeah, we still need to add 4. All right. So this one right here, you can also see a pattern between the differences is that we're constantly adding 4 to it. So that means to say we're just gonna add another 4 here. So it's 19. So it's 19 that's being added here. Add another 4. It would be 23 being added here, and then add another 4 to 23. That would be 27. So that
Sure.
means to say, to get
Sure.
our,
Sure.
yes.
The answer is most.
All right, great. I would appreciate if you can type your answers in the chat box. All right. So 80 plus 27, that would be no, 80 plus 27. That would be 107. All right. So you really have to test. If you have a pattern, if you identified a pattern, make sure to test it out. If you have, if it works for everything, okay? If it works for every part in our pattern. Here on the side, on the right side of our screen, you can also see a different way to do it. All right. So 2 plus 3 is 5. 5 plus 7 is 12. Okay, the 12 right there in the sequence, add it by 11, and so on. All right. So that's it for number 5. Let's have number 6. So there are a total of 123 chickens and rabbits in a farm. The animals have a total of 378 legs. How many chickens are there in the farm? So what we're going to do here is that you have a total of I know you have a total of 123 chickens and rabbits in a farm. Let's assume that the 123 are all rabbits. So let's multiply that by 4. So if you multiply 123 by 4, you'll get 492. Now, 492 total legs if it's all rabbits. But remember, we also have chickens and we can only have 378. So that 492 right there minus 378, we will have 114 as the difference. So if you have 114, divide it by the difference between the number of legs. You have 4 legs for a rabbit and 2 legs for the chicken. So 114, 4 minus 2 is 2. 114 divided by 2, that would be 57. 57 is the legs of the chicken. Okay, I mean 57 is the number of chickens. Question. Please type it in the chat box if you do. All right, I see correct answers in the chat box. That's great that you got this one. Then let us proceed to number 7. So for number 7, we're asked to find the value of this expression right here. And to do that, you can see, we can actually have a shortcut. We can see that it's being divided by 9 all throughout. So we can take divided by 9 out, okay? Take that out, all of that, and then copy everything else that remains, including the symbols or the operations. So we have 43 plus 29 plus 57 minus 21. Enclose that in a parentheses. And then do that operation first. So 43 plus 29 plus 57 minus 21, you'll get 108. And 108 divided by 9 is actually 12. All right? So 12 is our answer. Oops, here. Okay, I see correct answers in the chat box. Good. Great, everyone. So for number 7, it's 12. Let's now proceed to number 8. For number 8, find the value of this expression right here. So we'll just have to add them. All right. So you can do that. You can do this manually.
49 plus 22 times 5s.
All right. Great. We can actually do that one. All right. So we have here, you can do 22 plus 49. Okay. Going from the first number to the next, that's being added by 3. This is being added by 3. This is being added by 3. So What's the purpose of identifying that we're adding 3 constantly? This means to say if we're adding a certain number consistently or constantly, that's called an arithmetic sequence. Okay, arithmetic sequence. If it's an arithmetic sequence, we can actually have a shortcut instead of adding them one by one, right? So the general formula would be first, okay, let's write it down. First plus last. Last, first plus last
By total.
divided by 2, multiply it by the number of terms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, times the number of terms or the count of numbers. All right. So the first number is 22. That's why we have 22 here. Add it to the last number, that's 49. And then divide it by 2. And then multiply it by the number of terms, which we counted as 10, because there are 10 numbers. 22 plus 49, that is 71. 71 divided by 2, multiply it by 10. Remember, multiplication and division are of equal priority, so we can just multiply first before dividing. In this case, we don't want to divide it first because 71 is not even. We will get a remainder or a decimal number or a fraction. So 71 times 10 first, or we could have 10 divided by 2. Okay, we can express it like this. 71 times 10 divided by 2. Oops, that's 2. Okay, then you can actually divide 10 by 2. 10 can be expressed as 5 times 2, right? 5 times 2 is 10. So divided by 2, you can see 2 can be canceled out because it's in the numerator and denominator. So you're now left with 71 times 5. And 71 times 5 is 355. This is now our answer. So it's much quicker if you do this instead of adding them one by one, which is really prone to error. You are likely to commit errors if you do adding manually. So let's make use
Teacher,
of shortcuts. Yes.
can't you just 22 plus 49 and 25 plus 46, which makes the same number, so just keep adding?
Yeah, that's actually okay to do, but since this is competition and it's time limited, I do encourage you to make use of the shortest or the quickest method that you could use. But if you're more confident to use the one that you stated, that's a correct way of doing also, that's all right. Okay, whichever you prefer. Okay, whichever you're more confident in using. Because at the end of the day, we want a correct answer, right? Any other question?
No.
Okay. We're okay. I do encourage everyone in the chat box to please minimize chatting unless it's about the problem, okay? And also, please speak in English because I cannot understand um, any other language aside from my vernacular in English, all right? So that's it for number 8. Let's have number 9. Okay, for number 9, we have okay, so this is actually, we need to find the value of 1,359 times 0. Okay, first in this case. So that's already 0, right? So we don't need to write that anymore. So 1359, okay, this is 0 already. Any number multiplied by 0 is 0. So set that aside. Do not bother with that anymore. 31 times 5 plus 310. This is now our expression. So the next step would be we can actually express also these numbers in terms of 155. 31 times 5 is 155. This is 155. So let's change this. This is also 155. This is 310. Notice 310 is a factor, could be expressed as 155 times 2. So let's change this as 155 times 2. All right? So you can see that 155 is common among them. So you'll have 155. Let's take it out. This is only 155, so that's 1 right there. Plus, this is only 155 again. That's another 1 right there. 155 times 2. So we're left, when we take out the 155, we're left with 2. So do the 1 inside of parentheses first. 1 plus 1, 2 plus 2, 4. So you could have 4 times 155. 4 times 155, that's 620. 620 is our answer. Another way is that you could actually just add 155, 155, and 310 directly. You will still get the same answer of 620, whichever you're more comfortable and confident to use. Okay? No questions?
Yes.
Okay. If none, let's proceed. So we have number 10. We're asked to find the value of 88 multiplied by 45. So to do this one, you could actually have, notice 88 here is special, or any number that can be expressed in terms of 11 or 111, or in terms of ones. That's actually a good thing to us. So 88, let's express that as 11 times 8, right? It makes our multiplication much easier. So 11 times 8 times 45. So we just changed 88 into its factors, okay? So you have 11 times 8 times 45 now. Now multiply 8 and 45. If you multiply 8 and 45, you'll get an answer of 360. Okay? If you have 360, oops, sorry. Ayan, 11 times 360 would be the result, right? Now, it's much easier to deal with because we have a 1 here. So this is what you're going to do. If you multiply it by 11, you're going to write it like this, diba? So, since we're multiplying it with 1, you can just copy 360. Copy 360 for the second one, right? Bring down the 0, bring down the 6. 3 plus 6 is 9. This is 3,916. And that is our answer. Great. Correct answers in the chat box. Good. That's it for number 10. Let's have number 11. So we ought to find the value of this expression right here. So
Hello.
as
Hello.
yes, do you have a question?
No.
Okay, no questions. Let's mute our microphone. All right. Okay. So let's start with number 11. For number 11, excuse me, and for number 11, we have here the problem. This expression right here. What we're going to do is actually, let's try to re-express it. All right. Re-express it in a way that will have numbers that are easy to multiply. So you have 60 times 4. 60 times 4 can be re-expressed as 60 can be expressed as 20 times 3. Okay, 20 times 3 times 4. All right, plus 36 times 16. 36 in this case also can be expressed in terms of 12. Okay, can be expressed in terms of 12. That's 12 times 3. Again, this is 36. This is the 60 right here times 16. All right, so next step is the 12. No, the 24 times 6. The 24 can be expressed as 12 times 2. All right, this is our 24. Copy the multiply by 6. Okay, what's the point here? I'm trying to get a common number so we can take it out. So you have here 3 times 4, that's 12. So you now have 20 times 12 plus 12 times, what's 3 times 16? 3 times 16 is 48. Okay, plus 12 again times 12 right here. So what we're going to do now is that you can see we're constantly multiplying it by 12. If we're constantly multiplying it by 12, we have to take out, okay, we have to take out that common multiplication, um, times 12. Take it out and put everything else inside the parentheses. So you'll be left with 20 plus 12 plus 12. So 20 plus 12, 32 plus 12, 44. 44. Multiply it by 12. 44 times 12 would give you an answer of 528. And this is our answer. Oh, for a while. It seems that there's something wrong with my calculation.
Teacher, teacher, the middle number is supposed to be 48. It's supposed to be 48, not 12.
48.
Yeah, that's right. That's why there's something wrong. Thank you so much for pointing that out. So 48 should be right here. Yeah, so we took out the 12. Let's cover that one. Cover that one and cover this one. So notice we'll be left with 20 plus 48 plus 12. Okay, that's great. So 20 plus 48 plus 12, that's 80. Okay, 80 times 12 times 12. So that's now 960. Thank you for pointing that out. Ayan. No questions, concerns? Okay. If there is none, let's proceed to the next number. Okay. For number 12, let's have this one. So you have 6,666 times 3,333. So again, we have a number that is, we have numbers that is a multiple of 1,111. Okay, so always try to factor out numbers like this. Okay, so 1,111. Let's try to take out the 6. Okay, 6,666 is equal to 1,111. And then multiply it by 3,333. That is still being multiplied by 1,111. So in this case, you have now taken out the 1,111. So in situations like this, you can actually do, okay, you can actually re-express this 6 times 3 as 6 times 3 is 18, right? But we don't, we preferably want to have a number in terms of nines. So this is 2 times 3, right? The copy the times 3
Yeah.
here, then times 1111, multiply it by 1111. So you'll have a 9. Okay. Ayan. 9. So you'll be left with a 2. Okay, 9 times 2. Okay. Ayan. That's a 2. Times 1111 again. Times 1111. Alright. Please refrain from using foul words in our chat box, okay? So 9 times 2, we're not going to multiply those two. We want to express it in terms of 9. So you'll have 9 multiply it by 2, 2, 2, 2. We just multiplied this one and multiplied this one. All right? So now, remember, 9999 is actually 10,000 minus 1. Multiply it by 2, 2, 2, 2. All right? So 2, 2, 2, 2, when you multiply it by a power of 10 or 1,000, without 10,000s, 100,000s, you can actually copy this one, 2, 2, 2, and replace the 1 here and copy all the zeros. So 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. All right? Minus, we basically distributed this one, multiply this. Okay? Minus, copy the minus sign here. 2, 2, 2, 2 times 1 is still 2, 2, 2, 2. So if you subtract that one, okay, we'll have an answer of 2, 2, 2, 1, 7, 7, 7, 8. All right? So you'll have 22,217,778. Remember, there is no need to put commas. Okay, just put the numbers. Oops. Ayan. Question. None. If there's none, let us proceed to number 13. Okay, given the sum of integers a and b is 290 and a is 9 times of b, find the value of a. So, for questions like this, all we have to do is we have to write down a plus b. Okay, let's have a plus b is 290, right? And then you know a is 9 times of b. So you can just write 9b right here instead of a. Because of this statement right here, you know a is 9 times of b. Plus b is equal to 290. Now 9b plus b, 9 b's, add another b. That would be 10 b's in total. So that's 290. 10b, we just want b, not 10b, so divide this by 10. 10 divided by 10 will cancel out. That's why we divided by 10. So that we're gonna be left with b. 290 divided by 10 is 29. But remember, we're not looking for B, we're looking for A. But you know that A is 9 times of B. So, you know B is 29, so you'll just have to multiply. 9 times 29 is 261. This is now our answer. Okay, great. Let's have number 14. For number 14, find a unit digit of 4 multiplied by itself 2019 times, and 7 multiplied by itself 2025 times. Yeah, is that one only. So for questions like this, we have to just find the unit digit. So let's get the pattern. So for 4, 4 raised to 1 is 4. 4 raised to 2 is 16. 4 raised to 3, that is 64. So notice, we're just going back and forth between 4 and 6. Every two numbers, every time we multiply it to itself. Okay? So, but we're going to multiply it 2019 times. So 2019 divided by 2, so that we'll know which of the two will end up with. So it's not even, it has a remainder of 1. What we want here is the remainder. We don't necessarily want the whole number. So the remainder 1 tells us that this should be, okay, that this should be a 4 right here. Okay, so ano, a remainder of 1 tells us that it should be a 4. All right, okay, 4. So this is a 4 right here, but we're not yet done. We still need to multiply it by 7. So to multiply it by 7, we'll have to, oops, okay, 7, get the pattern for 7. 7 raised to 1, 7. 7 raised to 2, it's 49. 7 raised to 3, okay, it's 343. Okay, great. Multiply it by 7 again. You'll have a number ending with 1. Okay. And then if you multiply it by 7 again, you'll have 7, a number ending with 7. Okay, so the pattern is basically 7, 9, 3, 1. Every 4 times. Every 4 numbers. So if you have that one, all we have to do is the 2025 times, we divide it by 4. Okay, if you divide it by 4, you'll end up with 506 times 4. Okay, a number, 506, a remainder 1. You don't need the whole number. You just need the remainder. So the remainder tells us that we'll end up with a 7. Because it says it's 1. So we'll have the first one right here. So 7 and 4. Now multiply the 4 and 7, you'll get 28. But be careful, you don't want the 28. You just want the unit digit. So you'll have to answer 8. Okay, great. Correct answers. Number 15 then. So if an 8-digit number, 19872, A04 is divisible by 3, find the largest possible value of this 1-digit number A. Okay, so
The answer is 8.
okay, let's find out. So if it's divisible by 3, remember the divisibility rule of 3, we need to add all the numbers. Okay, so if we add all the numbers, we'll get 1 plus 9, 10. 8 plus 2 is another 10, that's 20. 7 plus 4 is 11, that's 31. 31 plus A is the result. Now, for it to be divisible by 3, it must have, the result must be divisible by 3 also. So if it's divisible by 3, we can only have results like 33, 36, 39, and 42, and so on. All right, so let's check which one works. So 31 plus A to get 33 would be, A would be 2. All right, then remember, we want the largest possible value of this one-digit number. So 31 plus A is equal to 36. So A must be 5 for it to arrive at 36. 31 plus A equals 39. You'll have A equals 8. All right. If we have 31 plus A equals 42, you'll have A equals 11. Okay. So go back to the problem. We want the largest possible value, but it needs to be a one-digit number. So A is not one digit. A equals 11 is not one digit anymore. So you'll end up with A equals 8. The answer is 8. Great. Questions? Okay. So I think, okay. So let's have a break first. Let's be back. We can actually have a long break. So let's be back by 9:05. All right. Please have your snacks and
Can you go back to the 15? I cannot write.
Miss, can you repeat number 14?
Is this
okay.
more time?
Sorry, this is Philippine time. So please just count. Okay. It's currently 8:53 in our place. It's 7. It's roughly 12 minutes. So please be back in 12 minutes. Okay? 12 minutes break.
7:53.
Miss,
That means we will have a break in 12 minutes, right?
Yeah.
can you
I mean, we're gonna have a break right now, and then please be back at 12 minutes. After
Okay.
12 minutes. Let's make that
The
clear.
answer for question 1 and 2.
All right. Sige, settle down, everyone. Let me say something first, okay? So, a recorded video will be sent to your emails. You can review that later. All right? So, within the day, you'll be sent emails. Tomorrow at the latest, if ever it will be late. But yeah, most likely you'll be sent an email today. Attached is the video of our recording for this session, and even the solution manual will be sent to you. All right. So for now, let's all have a break. Okay?
Okay.
Record cái này cho con. Record lại.
Looking like can have. You have so bad. Yeah. Bro, shut up.
Yep, stop singing.
Stop singing.
You sing too bad.
What is this?
Shut up.
Stop singing, bruh.
Now you shut up.
Up, bro.
Oh, shut up.
Shut up the little dog.
Stop yapping.
Don't say that. That's backward. Yep.
Stop yapping.
Who yapping?
Yep. Ping pong.
Thằng nào đấy? That's very kind of you.
Mày hát cái chua gì vậy?
I'm English. I'm not Vietnamese.
1 cộng 1 bằng 3. 3 cộng
Thông
3
minh vậy
bằng
bạn.
9.
Top gì top?
Oh, 5 minutes more. So, like faster.
Skibidi.
TBD nữa.
Má.
Bây giờ như thế con mèo chi ba.
You're not a meme. Shut up.
Chi ba chipi.
Nuh-uh.
Chipi chapa. Mình chỉ mà nghe nói.
Guli was a Everybody shut up! No, bro.
I'm playing Roblox right now.
Nhồi.
Why do we need to shut up?
Tự đi.
Why?
Không ấy.
So it's time for us to be back in learning our review session, our review questions for today. All right. So let us continue then. So define the operation symbol. A symbol B is equal to 2 times A times B minus 3 times A. So we have to find the value of this expression right here. If it's inside a parenthesis, make sure to prioritize that one. So let's do the 3 symbol 6 first. You know that the one before the symbol is A, and this is B. So A, this is B. So it says 2 times A is 3, B is 6, minus 3 times A, 3 times 3. So 2 times 3 is 6 times 6, 36, minus 3 times 3 is 9. 36 minus 9 is 27. But we're not yet done. Okay. 27. Remember, okay. So 27, symbol 5. Then, okay. So if we have 27, symbol 5, the next step would be, okay, 2 times, remember this is A and this is B. So 2 times A, 2 times 27 times 5 minus 3 times 27. All right. So from here, we could have, we can actually take out the times 27. So it makes things easier for us. So times 7. Yes, questions. It seems a lot of you have been raising their hands. Is there something? Is there a concern? You can unmute. What's the concern? Why are you raising your hands, guys? No question? Please type in the chat box if you do.
Me.
Question.
Sure. Sure, we can type in the chat.
You can type? Why?
It says chat disabled.
Ah, I see. I think it must be because everyone's spamming. Okay, so, but you can unmute now, right? So please tell me if you have concerns. Any concerns aside from the chat box not working anymore?
Me.
What's the concern?
I don't know what is the answer of the question 15.
Oh, all right. As I've said in the chat box, a video recording will be sent to your emails. So concerns about going back to a number will not be entertained for now. But if we still have time later, we can go back to it. Okay? But for now, let's make sure that we finish the the problems on time. All right?
Okay.
So any other concerns for those who are raising their hands? No concerns? Okay, we will now proceed to our next, to continue our problem right here. So we have multiplied by 27, right? We're constantly multiplying by 27. So again, let's take it out so that we don't um, multiply 27 every time. So 2 times 5 is left, so that's 10. Minus 3. So put that inside the parentheses. 10 minus 3 is 7. Multiply it by 27. 7 times 27, you'll get an answer of 189. So the answer should be 189. All right. Okay, please only raise your hand if you have a concern. Yes. Yes, please unmute. What's the concern? If you have no concern, please do not unmute. Please mute yourselves, okay? Concerns? No concern? Okay. It's you raising your hand is distracting for everyone. So please refrain from raising your hand if you have no concern. Okay? Let's go back to the problems then. So that's it for 16. Let's have number 17. So for number 17, okay, what is the largest three-digit number that is divisible by 12 and 16? So if you're asked for questions like this, you have to get the LCM of 12 and 16, whatever you're trying to divide it with. So, LCM, common multiple of 12 and 16. So you'll have to count 12, 24, that's 36, that's 48, and so on. So for 16, 32, that's 48. So I think it's 48. Yeah. Okay. They will meet at 48. So their LCM is 48. All right. So if their LCM is 48, um, let's just divide 1,000, or you could have 999. That depends on you. 1,000 divided by 48. So there are two 48s and 100. 2 times 48 is 96. And then this is only equal to 4 when we subtract this one. This is 40. This is 0. This is 0 still. That's 40. And then we have a remainder of 40. But what we have what we want here for problems like this is the whole number part. So that means to say the largest three-digit number that we could fit that is both divisible by 12 and 16 is 20 multiplied by 48. And 20 multiplied by 48 would be 960. Okay, so that is our answer. So if you were asked for the largest four-digit number, then you'll have to say 10,000 divided by the LCM. All right? Yes, questions? Please unmute if you do.
Can you divide
Question.
both of the numbers by prime numbers? And then,
Okay, can you please say that again, Win?
like, can you divide the numbers by prime numbers? Then choose, if there are two prime numbers that are the same, you only choose one, and the other things go. You need to.
Teacher.
I don't quite understand what you meant by that, Win.
Okay.
Is the answer 0?
Wait, let's try to have one student at a time first, okay? Win, would you like to explain that more?
Yes, first divide by any prime number that both of the numbers divisible.
You meant you got the answer by doing that one?
Yes.
Is dividing by a prime number the process of getting the LCM?
Yes.
I see. Yeah, you can also do that one. A way to get the LCM, whichever works for you. All right? Sige. Anyone else who has a question? Please unmute so we can hear
Is
you.
that
I can hear.
zero?
Yes,
Teacher,
Jeff.
ca-
Answer 96
can
zero.
can can we
Okay.
use the 999 divide 48?
Yeah, we can also do that one. It's still the same answer, right? You still get 20 here. Okay? What we want is the whole number. It's the same process. Jeff, I think you said something.
Is the answer 960?
Yeah, the largest three-digit number is 960. Anyone else? Please unmute.
I still don't understand. Minus 40 equals 960.
What was that? Can you please say that again? All right. No one has question. If no one's unmuting, that would mean no one has a question. No one has a question or concern.
Hãy đang đi từng bước một. Rồi, bây giờ dừng lại. Nhìn lại câu hỏi của ta. Họ hỏi là chu vi của hình đã giảm đi bao nhiêu cm sau khi ghép.
All right.
Điều này có nghĩa
So,
là
no one has a concern?
biết
Let's
được
proceed
là
then.
bao nhiêu tại vì
Okay.
là chu vi của
Okay.
128 hình ban đầu.
Okay, let's have number
Ta
18
sẽ
then.
thêm 100.
So this is how we do number 17. Again, it's just there are a lot of ways to answer this problem, but this is the quickest way we could answer it. Okay? Or if you're more confident in what in your ways, however you did it, that's also okay. So long as we don't violate the rules of math. All right? So that's it for number 17. Let's have number 18. So there are X melons and Y oranges. The product of integers X and Y is 288. The number of melons is 2 times of that of oranges. And how many melons are there? That's the question. So if you have questions like this, we just have to divide 288 by 2, right? Let's show it here. 288 divided by 2, you'll get 144. Oops, 144. Okay, if you have 144, and then that 144 is equal to 12 times 12. So 12 times 12, that's just, let's just have 12 times 2, because you know that the number of melons is 2 times that of oranges. So 12 times 2 is 24. So 24 is our answer. Again, the product of X and Y is 288. So we divide it into 2 because we want to equally distribute our number into 2 numbers because we have X and Y, right? That's 2. So it's equal to 144. Then think of a number that when you that you'll get 144 as its perfect square. Meaning find a number that when you multiply it by itself, you'll get 144. So it's 12. That's why we have 12 times 12. Now this is the time when you try to when you multiply that one number by 2. and you'll get 24 because it says here the number of melons is 2 times of that of oranges. So yeah, that is how we get our answer.
I still don't understand.
All right.
Teacher,
So
please go out.
what?
Is that the final answer? Because I study with China.
What was that? Please say that again.
Teacher,
Yes, what is it?
could you speak slower? You speak too fast, so I didn't understand.
Oh, all right. Um, we are actually pressed for time because this is only for 2 hours. If I go any slower than this, I think that would mean we'll be over time. We'll go over our designated time. But I will try to do my best to slowly speak, but I will take into account the time still. But if you still don't understand, even if I did speak slower than I used to, please rewatch the video recording sent to you. All right?
Okay, teacher.
So yeah. What else? Other questions?
I don't see auto 24 the final answer.
Yeah, 24 is the final answer.
Oh,
All right?
okay.
So just multiply this one.
Okay,
No, divide it, sorry, not multiply, divide it by 2 because we have two integers there, the x and y. So yeah, that's essentially the process. Please do find time to practice this one. All right? Question. One last question. No questions? No one's unmuting anymore?
Yes.
Okay. So then let us proceed to the next number. So this is a set of 30 questions. And yeah, let's
Miss,
try. Yes.
I don't think that for 18, I don't think the answer is 24.
Why? Bakit?
Why? Because 24 is only a little number and 28 is into and the total is 288, right?
Okay, let's try to verify that in another way. Let me show you something. It says that the number of melons is 2 times that of oranges. So we had an answer of 24, and then the other number is 12, right? So if our answer is correct, if it's 24, if it's really 24, then we must have a product of 288. We already satisfied the condition where the number of melons, this is the melons, it's 24, is 2 times that of oranges. Oranges. Our oranges is 12. Our melons is 2 times of 12. So that's 24. Now we satisfy this statement. Now let's check if we satisfy the other condition given. It says that the product of our integers, the 24 and the 12, must be 288. Now if you multiply 24 and 12, you will actually get 288. So that means to say there's nothing wrong because we've satisfied all conditions. All right? Is that clear? Questions?
Yeah. Yeah. No. Okay.
Okay. So
Yes.
this is also a way to check if our answers is correct. Okay. You can always go back to the problem if it makes sense. All right.
Miss,
Teacher.
Yes.
Miss, why is it 24 times 12?
Yeah, it's already shown
Đó là
earlier, right? We're just going
26.
back to this because someone asked a question about it. Any other question?
Teacher. Teacher. Teacher.
Yes.
Why the answer is 24 and 34.
We already showed that earlier, right? So, we have again, you have 200. Okay, all right, everyone, please listen so that we won't keep coming back to the same problem, all right? So we already had 24 as the answer. I'm just showing another, a way to check if our answer is correct because someone questioned the answer. But again, to go back why we have 24, the process is like this. You have 288, that's our product. And so we just divide this into two. Okay, divide that into two so we can evenly divide because we only have two numbers that we're gonna distribute 288. So it's the answer is 144. Now it says that the number of melons is two times that of oranges. So let's try to find a number when you multiply it by itself, you'll get 144. So that is 12 times 12. So if you have 12 times 12, that means to say 12 is our 12 is the number of oranges. And then if you have 12 as the number of oranges, I would appreciate it if you can let me finish. Okay? 12 oranges, but our question is melons, right? So you know that the number of melons is two times that of oranges. So 2 times the number of oranges, which is 12, is 24. So that means we have 24 melons. So this is how we get our answer. So if the question is product of integers x and y is 288, and the number of melons is two times of that of oranges, this is how we solve it. Okay? So another way, if it's okay, I'll just present you another solution also. So you have x times y, that's equal to 288. It says product, that's why we have multiplication here. So x multiplied by y is equal to 288. All right, that is from the first underlined statement here. Now, the second information that we have is that the number of melons. Let's represent x as the number of melons and y as the number of oranges. So the number of melons, m, when you see the word is, that's an equal sign. All right? Two times that of oranges. Two times that of oranges. But we know melons is represented as x equals to y. All right? So, you know x is equal to 2y. Let's replace x right here with 2y. Multiply it by y. That's equal to 288. Now, this is the time when we're going to divide it by 2. All right? So, that's the process right here. Because we want to erase this 2 right here. 2 divided by 2 is 1. So we're now left with y times y is equal to 288 divided by 2. That's 144. Now, this y times y, so that means we have the same number being multiplied to itself. That will result to 144. And that number is 12. This is that process right here. So y must be equal to 12. All right? Remember, y is the number of oranges. So you have 12 oranges. And from our statement that x is equal to 2y, so you know that our melons is twice our y, which is 12. 2 times 12 is 24. So 24 melons in all. So yeah, I've presented two ways to do it, but it's basically the same way, just another way of saying it, right? It's essentially the same. The other one is the shortcut. The first one I showed you is the shortcut. This right here on the left is the algebraic way or the complete, the full solution, the detailed solution we could have. All right, question. If there is none, let's proceed to number 19. All right. So for number 19, given the area of a rectangle is 126 and the side lengths of the rectangle are integers, how many different possible values of the perimeter of this rectangle is or are there? So again, we have 126. Okay. So we know that the side lengths are integers, meaning whole numbers, all right? Okay. So 126 prime factors. Let's get the prime factors of 126. So you could make use of a factor tree. I do use a factor tree. That's 2 times 63. No, 63, yeah. 2 times 3 is 6, 2 times 6 is 12. So 2 times 63 is 126. Remember, 63 can be expressed as 7 times 9. The 9 can further be expressed as 3 times 3. And this is now our prime factors. So you have 2 times 3. We have two threes right there. So you have 2 right here as the exponent times 7. All right? So 2 times 3 squared times 7. To get different possible values of the perimeter, we just need the exponents. All right? So the general formula is exponent 1 plus 1, multiply it by exponent 2 plus 1, exponent 3 plus 1, and so on and so forth, depending on how many exponents you have. All right? But in this case, we only have 3. So we only see 3 here. So exponent 1 is 1. This is what we call exponents. All right? Plus 1 to that. Exponent 2 is 2 plus 1. Exponent 3 is 1 plus 1. So you have 2 times 3 times 2. Yes, question.
Is it exponents like how many numbers there are? So there's 2, 3, and 7. So is that why there's 3 exponents?
Can you please say that again?
I don't understand why there's 3 exponents. Isn't there like 4?
Exponents?
Yeah.
No. Here you're gonna take into account this one. It's 3 squared. We're basically repeating the same number, so we can write it as this one.
Teacher, there are some perimeter like uh 126 by 1 and 1 by 126. That is the same, so I think it should be divided by 2.
Yeah, I'm not yet done. So it is divided by 2. So I would appreciate it if you could let me finish, everyone. All right? So we won't get confused as to the process. So 12 must be divided by 2. So we should be having 6 as our final answer. All right? Thank you for pointing that out. Any other questions?
Teacher,
Mm-hmm.
I think 3 can divide 2, 3 more.
Can you please say that again?
I think 9 divided 3 equal 3, but 3 can divide the 3.
I don't understand why we would be dividing by 3. The process here is that we need to divide it by 2. All right, 12 divided by 2. The 3 right here, if you have a factor that is being repeated, we can actually show that here. Okay, we can, instead of having 3 raised to 1 and another 3 raised to 1, you could actually combine that one. You should combine that one to make things easier. All right? Question. Yes.
Excuse me, Coach.
Yes.
When are we gonna use this formula? What kind of problems are you gonna use this formula?
All right. When a question, let's go back to the question. Okay, let's mute everyone's microphone. Okay, going back. So again, if you're being asked for different possible values of a perimeter of the rectangle, that's when we use this problem.
Hello.
Okay. Hello to you too. All right. So I do encourage you to mute your microphone throughout our session. No questions? Let's proceed. Okay. 19. 20. So there are 12 identical rectangles are combined to form a large square of perimeter 48 as shown in the following figure. What is the perimeter of the rectangle? All right. So you have the large square combined to form a large square of perimeter 48. So you have 12 identical, oops. We have 12 identical rectangles right here. So if you want to form a large square of this perimeter, so 48 divided by, first let's divide it by 4. The number of sides of a square, all right? So 48 divided by 4, and then let's divide it by 3. We have 3 parts right here. So 48 divided by 4 divided by 3, that would mean you have 4. 48 divided by 4, that's equal to 12. Divided by 3, you'll have 4. Now, let's have 48 divided by 4 still, because again, we have 4 sides of a square. Then divide it by 4 this time. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. So, this is equal to 48 divided by 4 divided by another 4. You would get a 3. All right? So that means to say, this is a calculation for our length and our width, okay? And the length would be, remember, the question is perimeter of the rectangle. So perimeter is twice the length plus the width. We've already identified the length and the width. 2 times the length is 4, the width is 3. So 4 plus 3 is 7. 7 times 2 is 14. So 14 is our final answer. That's it for number 20. Let's have number 21. All right. So given that the lengths of a leg, given that the lengths of legs for a right angle triangle are 16 and 30 respectively, find the length of the hypotenuse of the right angle triangle. All right. So lengths of the legs. So length of the legs of a right angle. So when you have a right angle,
Excuse me,
means,
can you write to the 20, the question 20, please?
all right, we're actually rushing for time, or else would be over time. We still have 9 questions left. So please review the video sent to you. Okay.
T square equals T square plus
Okay.
T square.
Everyone,
A
please
square
settle
plus
down.
B square equals.
All right. So then let us continue. Okay. Again, I've been saying this a lot of times. Please, if you want to go back to a certain number, please wait until we finished all 30 numbers. Okay. So that we won't hold up everyone in this session. All right. So let's have number 21. Given that the lengths of legs of a right angle triangle are 16 and 30 respectively, find the length of the hypotenuse of the right angle triangle. And so we have 16 right here, we have 30 right here, because it refers to the legs. The hypotenuse is always the longest side. All right? So remember our formula for this, for the hypotenuse, is that hypotenuse squared is equal to 16 squared plus 30 squared. or in general, that's hypotenuse squared is equal to leg 1 squared, leg squared, plus the other leg squared. Okay? Leg A, let's say that's leg A, this is leg B. Okay? So, or we could have another form that's h is equal to the square root of the leg squared, leg A squared, and the leg B squared. Oops. Go back a little. Ayan. Leg B squared. So if we have this one, 16 squared, we know 16 squared is equal to, it's just 16 times 16, okay? So that's 256. Now you have 30 times 30, 3 times 3 is 9. Copy the 2 zeros that will be multiplying. So you have h squared. 256 plus 900, you'd get an answer of 1156. So that's the hypotenuse squared. So for questions like this, okay. So for this one, square root of our answer, 1156. Oh, there's something wrong with the given. So it's different 16 than 10 and 24 right here. So let's start first with 16 squared and 30 squared. So you need to find a number. If it's 16 squared and 30 squared, you need to find a number that when you multiply it with itself, you'll get 1156. And the closest number we could have to that is 30. But 30 times 30 is only 900. So let's add up a little, add a little more to that. 32 times 32, you'd get 1024. All right? So we're still a little far. If we have 34 times 34, we could actually get our answer. So that's h is equal to 34. Okay? But if we follow the problem here, this one, the one not in English, so if the legs were 10, okay, 10 and 24 respectively, so you have 10 squared and 24 squared. Because again, these are the legs. 10 squared is 100. 24 times 24 would be 576. So you'll have an answer of 676. H squared, h squared. So h is equal to square root of 676, or find a number that when you multiply it by itself, you'll get 676. You'll get 25 times 25 is 525, right? Let's double check. 625 rather. It's 625. So we're getting close. So that means to say checking for 26 times 26 is equal to 676. So a number that when multiplied by itself, you'll get 676 is 26. So we'll have two answers for this one. For the English part, we use 16 and 30 for its legs. So the hypotenuse is 34. But if you were to use this one right here, the non-English part, we have 10 and 24 for its legs. You'll get a hypotenuse of 26. Okay. Question. Yes.
No question, no doubts.
Okay then. So
No
we'll
question.
have,
I have a question that if
okay.
if I do the 34, then if I'm wrong or right?
Can you please say that again?
I do the 34 of the English part. So do I right or wrong?
Ah, you mean you did 34 instead of 30?
I do 34 of
Ah,
the
I see.
part English.
You answered 34. You did the
Yes.
English part. All right.
Yes.
This part, this is only a mock exam. I will present this to our head, so don't worry about it. It will be corrected manually, especially for the exam. But for the exam, um, questions like this won't be, I mean, there won't be mistakes like this in the exams, okay? Because it will be manually corrected also. Okay, if we have no more questions, we'll have to proceed. So, proceed. 22. So for 22, we have 25 small squares. If perimeters 18 are combined to form a larger square, a large square. Find the perimeter of the large square. Okay. Siglet. All right. So again, we have 25 small squares. So of perimeters 18. Okay. 25 small squares. Perimeter is 18. Let's take note of that one. So if the perimeter is 18, all right, so that total perimeter, okay, so that total perimeter is 18, this entire thing. So 18, let's divide it into 4 because a square has equal side lengths. 18 divided by 4, you'll get, and then we'll have to multiply it by 5. Okay, 18 divided by 4, multiply it by 5, and then we'll have to multiply 4 again because there are 4 of those. Then you'll get 18 times 5. Let's show it in a fraction form. 18 divided by 4, you have to multiply it by 5 and then multiply it by 4. So you'll have, basically, you'll have 4 will cancel this 4 right here. So you'll end up with 18 times 5. Okay? And 18 times 5 is 90. And this is how we'll get our answer. So find the perimeter of the large square is the question. Okay. So that's it for this one. Yes, question. No question. Okay, so yeah, let me explain a little. So 18 divided by 4, we need to divide 18 by 4 because the small square, let's say one small square, this one, is has a total of 18, the side lengths. So divided by 4 because there are 4 sides. So let's say, okay, this side is 18 divided by 4, this side is 18 divided by 4, this side is 18 divided by 4, and this side is 18 divided by 4. So when you add all those 4, you'll get a total of 18 perimeter. But our problem is that we have 25 small squares and we want to make a large square. And if we want to make a large square out of 25 small squares, if it's a square, it must have equal side lengths. So it should be a 5 by 5 square. Okay? So if it's a 5 by 5 squares, so this is 5. There are 5 squares here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Right? The same with this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Please assume that what I've drawn are all squares right here. Okay? So again, we want to combine all the small squares. There's the 25 small squares to form a large square. And to form a large square, you must have 5 small squares as the width and 5 small squares as the length. So From that, you know that each of this side of our square is 18 divided by 4. So you have 5 of that. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of that as the width. Okay, on this side. So that's why we have this one. 18 divided by 4 times 5. All right. So that's only one side of our large square. We want the perimeter of all sides. So we multiply it by 4. And that's how we get our answer. All right. So we can actually rewrite this as 18 times 5 times 4. When it's just division and multiplication, it's okay to do this. 4. So as you can see, 4 is in both numerator and denominator. That's why we canceled it and ended up with, 18 times 5 equals 19. And that's it for number 22. If you have no questions, let's proceed to 23. So there are 50 points in a circle. How many line segments can be formed? So we have a formula for this. You have the NCR formula. So for the NCR formula, another shortcut, not the NCR. Another shortcut is that you'll have to add the given points, number of points minus 1, okay, plus number of points minus 2, plus so on and so forth until you'd end up with 1. All right? So from 50 minus, let's minus 1, that's 49. 50 minus 2, that's 48. Plus so on, okay? So 47, 46, and so on and so forth until we'd end up with a 1. So to add this one, okay, this is an arithmetic sequence again. So 49, last term plus first term, divided by 2, and the number of terms is 49, okay? That is equal to, this is 50 divided by 2. So that will end up with 25, and then we're left with 49 here. 25 times 49 is 1,225. So the answer is 1,225. Okay? Question? If there are no questions, let us proceed to number 24. So a pyramid has 20 faces. How many edges does this pyramid have? So a pyramid faces is 20. Edges is our question. So how do we relate faces and edges? It's just faces for a pyramid, okay? This is for a pyramid. Faces minus 1 times 2. All right, that's equal to something. So faces is 20 minus 1, that's 19. But remember, we need to multiply by 2. 19 times 2 is 38. So our answer is 38. That's it for this question. This is edges. Edges is equal to, this is your formula, okay? But only applicable for pyramids. Let's have number 25. So for number 25, given that the total weight of 3 shoes and 6 watches is 1,800 grams. If the weight of one shoe is the same as that of 4 watches, how many grams does one shoe weigh? All right. So again, we have 1,800. Okay. 1,800 grams. But we need to divide it by, okay, the number of shoes. Okay, number of shoes, that's 3. And then the number of watches is 6. But we need to make our denominator the same quantity. We should be referring to the same quantity. What does that mean? So if you're talking about watches here, you should also be talking about watches here. So we know that in one shoe, there is 4 watches. So you have 3 times 4 right here. Okay? So 3 times, because for every one shoe, there are 4 watches. Okay? Plus the 6 watches. So we know that the result here in the 1,800 would be the watches. All right? So 1,800, 3 times 4 is 12, plus 6, that's 18. Now you'd end up, 18 will cancel out, you'd be left with 100. Okay? So now if you have 100, what do you call this? 100 watches, right? Because our denominator was all about watches. So if you have 100 watches, you know that the weight of one shoe is the same for 4 watches. So we need to multiply this by 4. All right? 4 watches, one shoe is the same as that of 4 watches. So multiply this by 4. Okay, 100 times 4 is equal to 400. So the weight of the shoe is 400 grams. All right? 400. You don't need to put grams because it's already shown in the problem. All right. You have questions for this problem? Question. Who has a question? No question?
No question, no
Question.
question, no question.
Okay, no question. Let us proceed. So let us go to the next one. 26. So for number 26, 101 bottles of water are placed in box A, B, C, or D, given that every box contains at least 1 bottle of water in the box containing the most bottles of water. At least how many bottles of water are there in the box? So this is a problem that most students find confusing. Okay, but it takes practice. So if you see this one containing the most, at least, and then containing the most, that's already a clue right there that the process should be as what I will show here. Okay, so you'll start with our given, you have 101 bottles, right? And you're gonna evenly divide it into 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're gonna divide it into 4. 101 divided by 4 is 25. Remainder 1. Okay? Um, at least, but the question is, at least how many bottles are there in the box where it contains the most bottles of water? So that means to say that for A, you have 25, for B, 25, for C, 25. So for D, it should have 26 because we have 101 bottles in total. So containing the most bottles of water is actually 26. All right, that's how we answer questions like this. Okay, if no questions, let's proceed to number 27. So for number 27, we're asked to find the difference in number between even numbers and odd numbers among two-digit numbers that does not contain digits 0, 2, or 6. All right, so let's see. So we have in number between even numbers and odd numbers among two-digit numbers that does not contain digits 0, 2, or 6. Okay, so the difference in number between even, okay, number of even minus number of odd. All right. That are 2 digits only. So I'm placing two blanks because we can only have 2 digits. This one also we can only have 2 digits. Remember, it does not contain 0, 2, or 6. So the only possible numbers we have for the even part, let's answer the even part first. So for this to be even, it needs to end with 0, 2, 4, 6, and 8. However, we cannot use 0, 2, and 6 anymore because it's stated in a problem that we're not allowed to use it. So we can only have two numbers here, the 4 and the 8. So if we have two numbers there, we can only use, okay, let's list down the possible numbers. So for the first part, we cannot use a 0 there, the tens place, right? Or else that would be a 1-digit number. So the only possible numbers are 1. We can't use 2. We have 3. We can use 4, 5. And then we can't use 6. We have 7, 8, and then 9. All right. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 numbers that we can use. So that's 7 times 2. That's equal to 14. All right. So there are 14 even numbers. So, however, we still need to check for the number of odd numbers. So for the odd numbers, we are asked to find for this one right here. We can actually use 7 numbers for the ones place, right? Okay, let's check. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 are the numbers. But again, we can't use 0. We can't use 2. We can't use 6. So the only allowed numbers that we can use for the tens place, let's have the tens place first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Still 7 numbers. We can't use a 0 here. Multiply it by the ones place, you'll have for the ones place, you can only use, for it to be odd, you can only use odd numbers. So that's 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. So you can't use 4 and 8. So you only have 5 numbers. So 7 times 5, that's 35 odds. So the question is the difference between 35 and 14. 35 minus 14 is actually 21. Okay, 21. So that is how we get our answer for this one. Okay. No question, I presume. So let's have number 28. So here, for number 28, there are a total of 18 chickens and goats in a farm. The animals have a total of 60 legs. How many goats are there in the farm? So for questions like this, you assume that the 18 chickens have a total, you assume that the total 18 are all goats. Okay, so that's 18 times 4. 18 times 4 is 72. Right? You have 72 um goat legs in total. However, you only have 60 legs, right? So the 72 minus 60 legs and divide that by the difference of legs. So a goat has 4 legs, a chicken has 2 legs. 72 minus 60, that's 12. Divided by 4 minus 2, the difference between their legs, that's 2. So this is the excess legs, right? So the excess legs is 12. So divide it by 2, because the chicken only has 2 legs, or divided by the difference of the goat and the chicken's legs, that would be 12 divided by 2 is 6. 12 divided by 2, oh wait, 12 divided by 2, 60. Oh, we haven't subtracted it yet. 60 minus 18. Oh, this is the other way around. Let me correct this one. Sorry. We start with the number of legs. Okay, 60, 18 times 2, that is 36. My bad. Let me correct this one. You'll have 60, okay? You have 60 legs in total. Just subtract it directly with 18 times 2. Okay, 18 times 2. 18 times 2 is 36, so 60. Okay, the general formula, let me put it on the screen. Legs, the total legs, minus the total number of animals multiplied by 2, then divided by the difference in their legs. So that's 4 minus 2. So 18 times 2 is 36. 60 minus 36, that's 24. 24, 4 minus 2 is 2. 24 divided by 2 is 12. Okay, it's actually 12, not 6. All right, so this is how we answer questions like this. Let us proceed to number 29. So for number 29, we have numbers are drawn from 28 integers, 5 to 32, and okay, 5 to 32, at least how many numbers do we need to draw to ensure that there are two numbers whose sum is 24? All right, so for questions like this, we need to have a sum of 24, right? So to have a sum of 24, um, you can have 5 and 19 as pair, right? You'll get 24 with that. And then you increase it by 1 and decrease the other by 1. So that's still 24. So that's how you'll get a sum of 24. So until you arrive at 11, okay? 11 and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 paired with 13. Okay, because if we decrease this, this is already 12 and 12. And we can't draw the same number twice because there's only one number. So from that, that would be 11 plus 13. 11 plus 13 is 24. So you have this one, there are 7 numbers in total. So 30, 20 to 32 are unusable. All right? So 20 going to 32 are unusable number. So that's a total of 13 also. So 13 unusable. Worst case scenario is you'll get the numbers that you don't need, you don't want. So 13 numbers, and then possibility of drawing the first pair, this one, the first half of the pair, okay, 13 plus 7. And you'll have to add 1 to that. So add 1 to that, but 13 plus 7 is 20, plus 1, that's 21. All right? So worst case scenario is drawing 21, two numbers whose sum is 21. But we have the 12, okay? We haven't counted the 12 yet. So make sure that you count it also. So that's a total of 22. There are 22 draws that you need to get before you can be sure that it is divisible, that you will surely get a sum of 24. Okay, so that's it for 29. We're now on to the last number, thankfully. So here. So in how many ways can the letters of the word kitty be rearranged for the tiers stay together? So in questions like this, for you want something to stay together, treat it as one. Okay, treat it as one only. So you have one K, one I, and one Y. So you have and one pair of T. We want them to stay together, so we just consider them as one in the counting. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. So you have 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. You just need to decrease it to 1. Okay, whatever count you have, decrease it to 1. 4 times 3 is 12, times 2, 24, times 1, 24. So this is how we get our answer for the last number. Ayan. So 24. That is the end of our discussion. You finished it. Congratulations. And we went a little over time of 12 minutes. But thank you for your cooperation. If you have questions, please ask.